Hello and welcome back to another video on my channel. So everyone's talking about this Algeria Cameroon case, this appeal, rematch, replay, but what are the details? What is it that actually is going on? Well, in this video, sit back, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on at FIFA headquarters. So basically, this is the process of Algeria's appeal with regards to the Cameroon game. So, the first stipulation, and if you go on the FIFA website, you will see all their articles, all their laws, all their rules, is this. If you appeal or protest any game, right, there's a certain time frame you have to submit your appeal by, okay? So as soon as the game ends, there's a very small time frame you have to submit your appeal. Now, I remember the FA, the FAF, publishing their statements, I think, 24 to 48 hours after the game had been completed, right? Because the day after that hashtag started, the replay, people talking about it, that's when we saw the statement, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's when they appealed, right? So we wouldn't have left it too late. We'd be so stupid to have this turned down. It probably would get turned down anyway, but to get it turned down because of not submitting in time would be stupid. So the first thing is, you've got that quick time period, you have to submit it, right? So that's the first step, submit your case in time. This is what FAF decided to do, okay? First of all, the guy heading up our case is rumoured to be Mohamed Raoua, the ex-FAF president, the man who was responsible for so many good things in Algeria, the best president we've probably ever had, responsible for getting Sofiane Feghouli, Fawzi Ghoulam, Yassine Brahimi, all from France under-20s to Algeria. It was because of Raoua. That's how we got a lot of those players. Taider as well was another one, okay? So that's how we got some of those players. Raoua gets job done. He used to be in CAF as well, in some of their committees. He used to have very good power. He's a little bit older now. He won't come back, he said, because of health reasons. A lot of rumours that slightly under the table, he's actually running this case. So he knows exactly what's needed to get something over the line. So rather than the FAF say Gassama did this, this and this, right? What they did is FAF approached a refereeing organisation that evaluates arbitration. And this is an organisation that's recognised by FIFA. They're not just any old mugs ticking some boxes. They professionally evaluate refereeing performances. Now, FAF asked this organisation, can you please evaluate Gassama's performance in the Cameroon second leg? And they did that. They came back with a form that looked something like this, okay? And in this form, they said that Gassama, in the evaluation, made several key errors in the game. So they've said, in their report, that will go to FIFA, in this Algeria-Cameroon game, Bakary Gassama and the officiating team made several key errors, and that's an official refereeing body of arbitration that's presented this document and filled it in. So it's good that FAF got someone external, secondary to do this, rather than us just saying this mug made us lose. Get someone else to do it and present their facts, plus they'll be neutral. So that's the first step that was taken after me saying that you have to submit an appeal in time, okay? And then FIFA, looking at all the evidence, have set the date of April 21st. Obviously, we still haven't heard anything as of right now when I'm filming this. Anything can change at any time. But I think in Algeria's case, the longer it goes on, the best chance we have. If they came out the same day and said you got no case, it would have been game over. But the small slimmer of hope that we have, you know, goes on because we haven't heard a decision yet, which means that FIFA are ultimately looking at the case because they have not come out yet and said any decision. I need to slow down because I'm trying to cram in a lot of information. Now, who is this random organisation that evaluated Gassama's refereeing performance? Is actually part of the International Olympic Committee, and it's not even done by humans, it's done by algorithms, computers, technology, independent regulations looking at the performance of Gassama. That report, that's what gets studied by the FIFA Refereeing Committee. Who heads up the FIFA Refereeing Committee? The legendary ref, the baldy himself, the Italian Pierluigi Collina. That's his name, isn't it? Collina. Yeah, Collina is the guy. Great ref when I was younger, back in the day. Used to be, you know, I think he got all the big games. He was always spot on with some of the big decisions. Collina heads up this organisation, and there's like a vice president in it, and there's several members as well. But in terms of looking at our case, only Collina and 3 of the members will actually be taking a look at Algeria, Cameroon. That's the refereeing side of it. The reason FAF involved two committees is because they want the refereeing committee to look at this report done by that independent regulator and have their conclusions on it. And who better to conclude than Pierluigi Collina, the greatest ref of all time. So that refereeing committee will look at that report and say, hang on, this independent regulator is saying Gassama's made key errors. We have to consider it. Hopefully, that's what should happen in an ideal scenario. Once the refereeing committee looks at that piece of evidence, it then goes back to the disciplinary committee at FIFA, which is the first committee that came out in the FAF website. So it ultimately comes back to the disciplinary committee because they're the ones that look at what happens with games and stuff. The refereeing committee will just look at arbitration and officiating. So that's where the two differences lie. And of course, the arbitration committee, the refereeing one, is headed up by Collina. This disciplinary committee is headed up by someone else, and that is a man from Colombia called Jorge Palacio, with Anin Yeboah, assistant from Ghana, and then there's several other members on that committee as well, including someone from Tunisia and someone from Saudi Arabia. So hopefully they'll be on our side, Kawa and all that North African Arab brothers and all that stuff, we hope. Disciplinary committee is more serious. You don't need just 3 members to look at it. You need 17 members on the disciplinary committee to look at a case. That's a lot of opinions going forward on the matter. Once we finally hear that decision, okay, positive or negative, Algeria have 2 things they can do, okay? Of course, if it's positive, it's great. If it's negative, you've got 10 days to appeal a decision. If that appeal is also rejected, you can then go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, known as the CAS, which deals with a whole host of issues independent to FIFA. But again, that's very difficult to get something over the line. So what are FAF relying on? They're relying on the errors, discretionary errors made by Gassama in that game, with lots of loopholes and bad decision makings and technical errors. But for me, the key for me has not been corruption. And I know there's an anti-corruption organisation involved as well. That's a whole different story. But for me, the key has been that first goal for Cameroon. That VAR, that Mandy push, that's what it's always been about for me. It does say on the FIFA website that no protests may be made about the referee's decisions regarding facts connected with play. Such decisions are final and not subject to appeal, even concerning VAR and goal line technology. But the problem is, they weren't factual decisions made, were they? These were not facts connected with the play. If these German officials that they've spoken to are saying, look, we told him, he didn't listen, it becomes a whole different story. And that's where people are falling into the trap of corruption, because them telling Gassama to disallow it and Gassama not disallowing it doesn't make Gassama corrupt, but it makes him a very bad referee. And that's where you've got to draw the line. Anyway, there's all sorts on the FIFA website about rules and regulations, and if you do, it even says, right, if we appeal and it's a waste of time and we've got no case, we could even get fined as an FA and sanctioned for wasting FIFA's time. So I don't think FAF would be in a position to do that. Anyway, it's complicated, it's unclear, that's where we are right now. Again, it doesn't mean that we're going to replay. It's just, I'm sure there are plenty of teams, we only know lots about this, and we're reading a lot about it and we're talking a lot about it because it's Algeria, it's our country, right? I'm sure many nations across the world have probably filed appeals we don't even know about. That doesn't mean much, but because it's Algeria, we're focusing on it, we're reading into it, we're delving into it. I think we do have a good case. I think if we present it well, there's a chance. I just don't know if FIFA have the bottle to order a rematch, because I remember, you know, I know pre-VAR it was probably more difficult to get a replay, because without VAR, you can't blame not having VAR because there was none. Remember Thierry Henry's handball against Ireland? That was clear, but there was no VAR. You can't say VAR missed it. There wasn't. Now we had VAR, it missed it. We were saying in the VAR, there's no goal, it should not be given, and we didn't use it, and the referee didn't listen. That's where technicalities with VAR start to come in. Okay. And our case is different. I know Egypt were trying to do a case as well, but that was to do with the laser lights, and that's, you know, that's fans, and that's completely different, and they were doing it in the first leg. This is different, and obviously the Senegal South Africa getting redone a few years ago, again, it sets a precedent because it's been done before, and that was a World Cup qualifier as well, I believe, that took Senegal to the tournament. So we'll wait and see. I've moved on from it. I'm looking forward to the new Belmadi era, the AFCON qualifiers, the new players we're getting, the Oran Stadium. That's where my head's at. But we do have this glimmer of hope, and unfortunately we might just have to watch the World Cup Well, I'm not watching it, I'll support England. But anyway, that's where we are right now. Again, a slim chance, but we wait. Whether we get the replay or we don't, we will hear from FIFA at some point, and the FAF saying their reasons why. So, and I'm sure they'll go to CAS if there is a rejection. So it'll be ongoing, but we await. But I've just been thinking about it over and over, and for me, 10 seconds to defend a set piece with 5 at the back, our fault really. You've got 5 defenders, you've got people that are still celebrating our goal. Just come on, 30 seconds, defend the free kick, boot it. We've all run out of the box, we've missed it. They've obviously got everyone in the box because they've got nothing to lose. It's worked out for Eto'o and Cambi, and unfortunately Algeria didn't make it. But anyway, whew, thanks for watching, subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.